The U.S. military admits it made a mistake with an airstrike on a hospital in Afghanistan last month. 30 people were killed. The facility that came under fire was run by Doctors Without Borders, also known as MSF. The Pentagon released details of its inquiry into the attack in Kunduz, and CCTV's Jim Spellman is here now with the details. So it's horrifying what happened.
A horrific incident. The general that's in charge of this investigation says the attack was avoidable and a violation of the rules of engagement.
Human error compounded by technical problems and procedural missteps led a U.S. military airplane last month to target an Afghan hospital run by Doctors Without Borders, also known as MSF, according to a preliminary Pentagon report. The attack left 30 dead.
The medical facility was misidentified as a target by U.S. personnel who believed they were striking a different building several hundred meters away where there were reports of combatants.
The report finds the flight crew took off more than an hour early, before the pilots could be fully briefed about nearby civilian facilities, including the hospital. The intended target was a nearby compound the Taliban had seized days earlier. The location of the hospital in Kunduz was well known to U.S. forces.
The hospital building is very well known. It exists since 4 years, this hospital project, and we have communicated the precise GPS coordinates to all warring parties in Afghanistan.
Technical problems with the AC-30 gunship limited communications with ground crews. By the time the flight crew knew they were hitting the wrong target, the attack was over.
U.S. Forces Afghanistan is currently working hand in hand with MSF to identify the injured and the families of those who lost loved ones in order that we may offer appropriate condolences.
Those condolences will include payments to the wounded and families of those killed. The U.S. is also rebuilding the hospital.
Most of the U.S. personnel involved in the attack have been suspended from duty. The Pentagon has not decided on further punishment, if any, for those military members, Mike.
So what about MSF, Doctors Without Borders? Have we heard from them as to their response to all of this?
They've made an initial response. They say that this report shows gross negligence and shows what they call, quote, violations of the rules of war. They are calling for an independent investigation. Early on, Mike, questions were raised about whether there were Taliban fighters in the hospital. U.S. rules of engagement prohibit going after any target like this, even if there are enemy combatants within it.
All right, Jim. Well, thanks so much for that update.